Hey, Zach, back here again at SHRM 26. I just sat in a very good presentation, another one that's focused on caregiving. I'm here with Carly Chase. Hey, Carly.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
She just had a great talk right back here on stage with Veronica Segovia Bedon from AARP. And Carly works for U.S. News and World Report. She's not a reporter. She's actually the VP of Career Business. And she made some really interesting points. One in particular I didn't know about, and I want to share with our audience that there is a great list out there to look at, whether you're a working caregiver or whether you're an employer or an HR, to do some comparisons. But it's called the best company to work for family caregivers. So we're going to talk about that. But first of all, Carly, tell us a little bit what you do at U.S. News and World Report.
Yeah, so U.S. News is a business. We used to have magazines, and you could find us at airports, but ever since about 15 years ago, we've really expanded to be a place that helps our users, our consumers, make the most important decisions in their lives, which gives us a pretty wide sort of berth. And so I joined the organization a few years ago to start thinking about building tools and products to help our users explore and make decisions about their careers, which is just a very big space of passion for me.
Wow, that's probably with the times of
just more and more relevant.
More and more relevant.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So one of those tools, I imagine, is the best company list.
Yes.
And of course, the one that's really dear to my heart is Family Caregivers. So tell us a little bit about that. What's the research you do? How does that work? Where you can find it?
Yeah, well, when you think about the important decisions you make in your life, where we're going to work, which a lot of us spend, 40 to 60 hours every week of our lives in those places with these colleagues doing work, we make that decision with really little information about what it's going to feel like on a day-to-day basis to be an organization's employee. Like, what is that employee experience going to be? And the good news for employees is that I think, especially in corporate America here in the U.S., I think all of a sudden corporations really became attuned to the fact that they had more than one stakeholder that was important, right? Shareholders, that historically 60, 70 years ago, that was kind of the idea. And then in the last 10, we've really seen a shift, and you can look to official statements from Business Roundtable, the World Economic Forum, and lots of our business leaders who really started talking about how they needed a wider sort of berth of stakeholders to be accountable to not just their shareholders, but their employees, their communities, their suppliers, their customers. And so we sort of took that and said, let us sort of take the frameworks, let us sort of take what the business community is already reporting on, beginning to report on a lot more transparently, and let us try to make sense of that data and help job seekers, existing workers, really make better, more informed decisions about the employers that they want to engage with and the environments that they're going to go work into. And about 2 years into that work, we got the privilege of working with a couple of institutions, the Milken Institute and the SHRM Foundation, who really started also to produce mega research, really dive deep into into this space for family caregivers. And so in partnership with those two organizations, we put out our first list specifically for family caregivers to help them identify what are the best companies for them individually. And the way that we do that is that we use only publicly available information. We use employee sentiment data. We use...
So very independent.
Very independent. We're not pay to play. You don't apply. We're going to rate you whether you care or not. We try to rate both private and publicly traded companies, different data available for both. Obviously more disclosures on the human capital side for publicly traded companies. But we call that data together, and we don't actually rank. We're known for a lot of rankings in our business, but we rate these organizations, and we rate them in 6 categories. And that's really specifically intended to draw our reader's eye, to help them understand and become more intentional and say, hey, this is actually my priority today.
Oh, I see.
As opposed to, what's the best company for me 10 years ago versus today versus 10 years from now. It's going to look different as we go through our journey.
So you might be in a different ranking in each category?
I just mean we rate in 6 categories, and so what I want the user's eye to go to is the thing that they care most. So for instance, we rate in work-life balance, we rate in belongingness. So do you feel connected to your colleagues and your organization? That matters for some people at different stages of their careers.
That's great. And where can somebody find this tool?
Yeah, careers.usnews.com. Thanks for asking.
Really need to encourage everybody to check that out. The last question I want to ask you, you talked a lot about intentional job search.
Yes.
And in the work I do, I speak to a lot of caregivers that unfortunately are forced to choose between their job and caring for a loved one. Most people, of course, have to go to the caring for the loved one and
Yeah.
they leave their job. But they need to come back to work and do a job search. Do you have any advice, anything specifically for unpaid family caregivers that had to leave a job and now they're in a job search?
Yeah, absolutely. I think first you need to tighten your mindset. So you need to believe that the work that you've been doing is really valuable.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And you need to
say it one more time.
you need to believe that the work you've been doing is equally valuable to any work that you're doing in an office, or more
I
valuable.
knew
probably.
I liked her. I liked her for a reason. I knew it.
And I think the good news for job seekers today is that employers are beginning, and I think will continue to, especially in the context of AI coming inside of organizations, they're going to really search for those durable skills. That's what we hear about. I talk to employers, I talk to university career centers all the time, and durable skills really are the skills of the future. So things like communication, adaptability, critical thinking, teamwork, things like that. That's what people want in the future. And the good news for caregivers is that's what they're excelling at as caregivers. They're having to communicate, they're having to become organized. And so being able to, first of all, get confidence that the skills that you're building are valuable in other work and actual workplaces, not just in the context of caregiving. I think if you can sort of feel that and believe that, I hope you'd have a much stronger position to sort of come back into the workforce too. And you do have to figure out how to confidently translate those experiences and skill sets into how you're going to bring that into your workplace.
Durable skill sets. Thank you for not calling them soft skills.
Yeah, no.
I love that. HR, you hear that? Durable skills. A lot of like navigating crisis.
And I'm just going to add one more thing, just from the conversation we just had on stage. Caregivers, I think it's close to it's going to be 50% of the working population. So I would also say to caregivers, don't feel like you're this unique thing, you have this unique experience that nobody else is going to have. I think you're going to be very relatable. I think people are going to be very empathetic. The right people will. And if they're not, by the way, that's not the right place for you.
Right, exactly. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
For adding that. Everybody, this is Carly Chase with U.S. News and World Reports. Please connect with her on LinkedIn, and also be sure to look up this list. Once again, where can you find that?
Careers.usnews.com.
All right.
New list coming out June 30th.
Go check it out. Let us know what you think. Thank you. Take care. Thank you, Carly.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah, that was fun.